What's up guys, and welcome to our tutorial in programming fundamentals. In this video we are going to have a brief introduction about programming languages, why we need it and how we are going to use it. So first of all of us are using computer, and a computer is just a machine. Let's say a dumb machine can do nothing without a human, at least for the current time. So there is a person who were responsible of making the computer do the task that it's doing right now. That person is what we call a programmer, and he wrote or write a program that can run on the computer and do the task. So basically a program or a software is some instructions that written by a programmer using a programming language will make the computer to do a specific task, such as playing video, playing audio, serving the web, and so on and so forth. And there are a variety of applications, software, or you can call it program. It's all the same. These programs can be a system software, application software, same as operating system. We have Android, iOS, macOS, Linux, Windows. There are a lot of them out there, right? Those operating systems. There are also application software, which are the software that we use to do some tasks as a user. There are utilities, embedded system software, which are the software used in embedded devices such as toys, Internet of Things, robots, and so on. And there are also compilers and interpreters. Those are the software will be used to translate the programming instruction to machine, so it can understand it and run it. Who is the programmer? A programmer is the one who understands a programming language and use it to tell the computer to do a specific task. He has the knowledge of programming languages and also how to tell the computer to do specific tasks. As you know, there are a lot of machines in the world. For example, the calculator. And these devices or these machines has, let's say, two components. It may have more, but let's focus on these two components, which are a hardware and a software. So a hardware is the physical component that we can touch by our hands, while the software is what make this hardware do the task. So as we said, the software is the instructions, right? So the hardware mostly will be made by engineer. So if we are going to make a calculator, an engineer will come and set the devices, the components, and link it to each other. Still, there is a need for a developer or a programmer who will write the code so this device can start to do the calculations. How we can talk to a computer or what the computer speak? Honestly, it is as dumb as doesn't understand more than switch on and switch off. You know the light? Yes, when you switch on and switch off, that is the language of computer, or we call it 0 and 1. The language name is binary language because it has only two values, either 0 or 1. So how we can talk to a computer? In fact, there have been a continuous effort to make talking to a computer easier. And that's what brings a programming languages to the world. Programming languages has different levels. There is assembly language, which is closer. There is machine language, which is the zeros and ones. There is assembly language, which is more human readable, but still close to machine language. And there is also high level language, which is a human readable language. I mean, it is natural language. We can write or talk to a computer by our own language. So machine language, as I said, it is like zeros and ones. Imagine that we are going to print or to show on the screen, hello world, okay? We are going to show this sentence on the screen for the user. So if you are going to use a machine language, it would look like this. Imagine that you are going to write all this code to print on the user screen, hello world. Of course, at that time, it was beneficial. However, it needs some improvement, and that's what brings the assembly language. So hello world, it could look something like this: MSG $$db, whatever, okay? However, if we are talking about high-level language, so it will be simply print hello world. So I think now you can understand the difference between assembly language, machine language, and also high-level language, all right? So yeah, right now in our era, we can use high-level languages to talk to the computer. However, there are a lot of programming languages. Each language has its own specifications and has its own programming paradigm, and that's why we have a lot of them, not only one. And the most top 5 in 2020 and 2021 are these languages. At the top, there is Python, followed by C language, Java, C++, C#, Visual Basic, JavaScript, assembly language, SQL, PHP, and much more. So these languages gain popularity depends on the use of these languages and also on the tutorial that explain them. So as you can see, for example, Python last year was classified as #2 language, but in this year become #1, I mean in November 2021. All right, here I have a question for you guys. How many programming languages out there? Write the answer in the comment below. Lastly, whenever we are write a program, as we said, machine doesn't understand except 0 and 1. So there have to be like a middleman between us, a human or developer, and the machine. And that middleman, we call him a compiler or interpreter. It is a software that translates the code that we write into machine language and then translate from machine language to a human readable so the user can see the output. What is the difference between them? Compiler is going to take the whole code and translate it at once, while the interpreter is going to translate and execute the computer program line by line. So how we use them? No, you don't want to use them. In fact, they are already there with the programming language. So some programming languages use compiler and some other using interpreter. However, the languages that use compiler, which we call compiled language, run faster than the languages that use the interpreted language. However, there can be much more comparison in different specification between the languages, and that's what make a developer choose certain language among others. That's it for today, class. See you later. Salam.